Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, February 20th, and it is another great week here at GOA. And I'm going to apologize to you for being the least attentive teacher you've probably had in a while. And I do 100% apologize. It has been a very rough 2 weeks for me. The throes of science fair tend to take over my life, so I apologize for that. I have updated some grades, so please take a few minutes if you would like to take a look at that. This lovely picture is a picture of how I feel at the moment, just a slight bit frazzled, sort of living everywhere. You ended up having a couple of extra days for finishing Module 2 or Unit 2, so I hope that you were able to use that time. I know there was a couple of questions a lot of you had on the exit survey for Unit 2 not being there, and you're right, it for some reason did not load. I don't know why. So we're going to go ahead and let that go for now. And we're going to move into Unit 3. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Unit 3. I've opened up a few things in Unit 3. I haven't opened up that much, but I wanted to get you started. Some of you may or may not have heard of the story of Henrietta Lacks. So if you have not, take a few minutes. There's a video clip here to watch on who she is and what the story is. And I give you a little bit of summary about Henrietta Lacks, but this is in the previous section we talked about mental illness and consent and talking about how people consent to certain things, and so this actually continues that process about talking about what consent looks like, especially in terms of human subject research and then in animal subject research, which is what we'll get into second half of this. But Henrietta Lacks, for those of you that do not know, was a lady who was diagnosed with cancer, and when she passed away, turns out years later we found out that her cells were kept and cloned over and over and over again. So almost every cancer research project in the world uses her cells, and so it's a whole big moral dilemma because she was unaware that her cells were kept. Her family was unaware that her cells were kept, and over the years there have been dozens upon dozens of research reports that have been written using those cells, millions of dollars in research that has gone to the research for people that have been using these cells, and of course the family was never compensated, nor do they know. So it's kind of our biggest bioethical concern that we've seen over the years. That's been very much in the forefront. So we talk a lot about it when we talk about bioethics. So we're going to start with just a little plunge in where you talk about who she is and what the significance of her cells have been to the community and things like that. So take a few minutes to watch the video and read a little bit about Henrietta Lacks and answer the questions. It's a quick discussion post, won't take you very long. In the syllabus and the Gantt chart for this week, everything is listed here. And if you take a look, I think I have a few things sort of out of order, and I apologize for that, but the dates are all correct in there. So take a few minutes to look over your syllabus in the Gantt chart, and then you're going to move into the first lecture. And it's not really a lecture so much as I want you to read the Belmont report, a little bit about it, and talk about, are there the guidelines for this significant? What gaps do you see? And then you've got a couple of case studies here to go through, and you'll notice that each case study has a set of questions under them, so that's what I want you to answer are the questions. You're really not doing much else with the case studies in terms of analyzing them, but that I do want you to answer the questions that are related to them. And so that is the second assignment for Unit 3. And then our third and final thing that I think I have available to you is the history, and I will be opening up some other things in the next day or two. But the next one is the history of human subjects and human subject research and what that looks like and what the trend is for that type of research and how that looks. And so what you're going to do is you're going to answer questions, and for those of you that have aspirations to go into the medical field, you're going to really have to know a lot about this, like what the Hippocratic Oath is, what it means to be ethical in doing science research and medical research and things like that. And then in part 2, you're going to learn about another case similar to Henrietta Lacks, but in a greater scale, called the Tuskegee case, where it talks about some individuals that were used for scientific research that were never taken care of properly. So you'll take a few minutes to take a look at that and have a little lecture for you here, and then over here we have a video for you to watch on the subject. So I hope that you enjoy this. This topic is quite interesting, especially when you start getting into people who have to have no idea that these things are being used. And of course, how would we know? I mean, if we go to the doctor and you're giving a blood sample, for example, how do you know that your blood sample isn't being used somewhere else down the way? And how do you protect yourself against that? And who gets to say? And there's so many things that we can talk about. I'm going to apologize for being a little bit inattentive to you all, but I am now, I think, hopefully back at full power. So you should be hearing from me a little bit more in the next week, and it will cascade a bit more, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing a bunch of comments and things. So that lets you know that I am working for you. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know, and I apologize again, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.